Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of Scrapbooking 101. Always a little bit of technical difficulties with lives. So we are on and we are ready to dive into the third step in the creative process for creating scrapbook layouts. And today I'm going to take you through 3 different ways that I create titles. So let me make sure my computer is up and orientation is right on, and we will be all set and ready to dive in. Okay. Let's take a look first at this circular one that we started yesterday. So this one is a unique layout because there's not a lot of extra room for too much stuff because we've used this background patterned paper. So my steps in creating a layout, and I've talked about this in day 1 and day 2, is that you start off picking your pictures and picking your patterned paper. Then you build your base. So this is my base. I've got the basic start to my layout. Then the next thing I always do is do my title. And the reason that is my next step is because I don't ever want to embellish so much that I run out of room for the title. As I'm creating the title, I am plotting out where I'm going to go with embellishments. So one way that I like to create titles is by combining elements. This word love here is cut out. I used just a manual die cutting machine with a metal die cut, and you can also do it on electric. You can also look in stores for big titles, things that will work for this kind of thing. So I knew that I liked the word love. Now, as I mentioned, I want to do a combination. So I'm going to get love on there, and then I'm going to add some stickers for my second part. And I am going to pull out my Easy Runner Grand here. I thought I had it out already, but it's gotten buried as I was preparing. Let's just go with this one for today. Okay, so what this one is specifically is it has dots. And I used the repositionable dots yesterday. Today I'm going to use the permanent dots. And I do like to put just some kind of scratch paper behind it so I don't get the dots everywhere. But the reason I like this for little things like this kind of attachment is it makes it easy to get it well covered without having extra tape sticking out from behind. You could also use like a liquid glue. Any of that kind of stuff will work. But you can see that I'm getting thorough coverage on this. Okay. So I'd kind of already looked at where I wanted to place this one. Right about there. And then like right now I'm sitting and working. I always like to stand up and look at it from above to see if I'm happy with it. Okay, so that looks good. Now, one thing when I use a script font for a part of a title, I like to use a traditional print font for the other part if I'm going to have multiple words, because otherwise if you start mixing and matching your scripts, unless it's the exact same one, it can look kind of off and chaotic. And so I pulled out a couple different sticker sheets from Paper House, and I think I'm actually going to try this. I do reserve the right to change it overnight as I look at it. And I'm going to add the word cousin onto this. So I'm going to just use my ruler to lay these out. And these are cardstock letters. All of these stickers on this sticker sheet are cardstock. So I love to build a multi-word, multi-font title. That's one of my favorite approaches. Pop out that little piece. Okay, so I just put that on there. And I can go back and correct later if I want to, but actually I like that placement, and I'll go back and add my eye on there. And you can see just using that ruler helped me to line everything up and get it on there all at the same time instead of having to pull it up, stick it back on, pull it up, stick it back on. Okay, so there's the first title. 2 different products, cardstock and cardstock stickers, 2 different fonts, very simple title, tells the story, big, readable, visible. Okay, the next one we're gonna do, let's do the basketball one. So a really, really easy way to add a title is to use the cut apart cards that are available. Paper House has cut apart cards that coordinate with pretty much every collection. And when you want to just go super simple, this is a great way to do it. So I am going to go ahead and cut out this one that says basketball is my life. And there are times when I take these cut apart cards and I might even fussy cut a word from it. And what I mean by fussy cut is actually cut out the letters. So for example, on this, if I went in and cut around the L and the O and the V and the E and wanted to use that as my title instead of using the whole cut apart card, that can work really well. I'm always looking for little ways, like I might fussy cut this for part of the layout. Looking for ways you can use the patterned paper and the cut apart cards for that. And the great thing about papers like this is usually there's a backside, so you can use part of the cut apart cards and use part of the patterned paper for something else. Now this one came from a paper pad, which their paper pads don't have double sides, but their individual paper sheets do. Okay, so this is already a super simple start to a layout. Okay, so I'm going to just figure out. Now, if you remember, this one was based on a sketch. Let's see if I can find the sketch sheet here. There it is. Okay. So they have title 1 and 2 like this. So I'm going to look at this and say, okay, how can I split that into 2? That's going to be pretty easy to do because it's kind of already split into 2. I'm going to just cut right down the middle. And tuck that in. Okay, and you can see that's really pleasing to the eye. Again, the title is visible, it's not lost within anything. And it makes the point really well of what the layout is about. It's really important to me that layouts have titles that stand out. If I can't find the title and I can't tell what the layout's even about, it's not, I don't enjoy those layouts as much. I really like to be able to see exactly what your layout is telling the story of. So big title that tells the story well. And right now I'm just checking that I've got it centered, and it's pretty much perfectly centered. So again, these are just cut apart cards. If you look at the Paper House website, they have patterned papers that have cut apart cards on the back side. And I will even pull a few of those out to show you here in just a moment. Okay, so see, I've got it way off here. Need to get it lined up with each other here. Okay, that's better. That's the only tricky part about continuing in it from the top to the bottom, is making sure you actually get them in the same spot. There we go. Okay, so you can see, again, we've got 2 here with really good clear titles. Okay, now let's go on to the third one. And let me see real quick here if I can find a sheet with that shows you the cut apart cards on the back side, just in case you don't have any idea what I'm talking about here. Here we go. So this is the Great Outdoors collection. So the front side, or whatever, the back side, whatever you want to call it, is the cut apart cards. So you got a whole bunch of options, and then the back side is patterned paper. So even if I only use one of these, I've still got the whole back side to use the patterned paper for something else. Okay, final layout for today is the forest layout. And this is another one of my favorite things to do when I create a title, and that is to use a whole bunch of different elements, sticker elements, die cut elements, to create it, and really basically create a cluster of elements together. Now I'm going to get this on there because I forgot to do that earlier. Actually, probably will go back and pop that up with some foam adhesive. So then I am going to build my title up here, away from my picture, where there's some white space. Now we've got a couple different kinds of stickers here. You can see I've got the cardstock stickers from this Great Outdoors collection. I may use some of those. These ones are destination stickers, which have dimension but are a little bit shorter than the 3D stickers that Paper House is known for. These ones are taller, and I have in my mind ideas how to use all 3 of these. We'll see if I end up actually using all 3, but wanted to show you at least the difference. So look at how much dimension you get with that. And these ones are foiled. This one is less dimension, but still some. You can see, like, especially here. So definitely a difference. Now I know for sure I want to use West Virginia on there because that's where we were. And I love that I can just go straight to this package and know, oh, I've got West Virginia stickers. Perfect. Okay. Now I want to use West Virginia, and I want to say adventure. So I'm not sure if I want to use this, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. Or if that will be too overwhelming. Or if I want to go with this, just this simple little, yep, I like that one. Definitely like that one better. Okay, so I'm going to just tuck this in. And again, I will check if it's straight. I don't want it to be too off kilter. Oh, and then I pushed it up too much. Push it down a little bit. Okay, good. So you can see I've already got the basics to my title. Now I want to add a little bit to it. So I'm going to look at what stickers I have available now that might work. So of course, I'm going to pull in some of these bigger ones. And just kind of, I try not to stick my stickers down so tight that I can't pull things up if I want to add more, like I just did there. Okay. And I don't love that, so we'll leave that one off. That makes a nice addition. And it's really like right now, I didn't plan this out specifically. I'm just kind of playing with it. So you can see like how I narrow down like, oh yeah, that looks good, or eh. You can see also that like these coordinate really nicely with the paper. They add to the layout. They don't take away and distract from the picture that I have going on, but they add to it. So I think I'm going to stop there because I think anything else I add is going to be little. Like maybe these hearts might come into play, but I'm not ready to commit to that yet, and I will do that more with the embellishing tomorrow. But this gives you an idea of how, just a few different ways to approach your title work. It doesn't have to be straight up letter stickers. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be pulling out a sticker pack and creating a title with that sticker pack. The main thing that's important is just that it's big enough to read and it tells your story, complements your pictures. And that is day 3. We're done. So tomorrow we will begin the embellishing process. And that means like all the extra stickers, all the extra elements that are going to come into it are going to come in tomorrow. And we'll also be talking about journaling some in the next 2 days. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me today. We will be back again tomorrow at 10 o'clock here on the Paper House page. See you then.